Welcome to this new activity in which we'll deal with functions definition. So the question here is indicate whether each table or graph specifies a function. Let's start with the first 6 ones, which are tables. In the first one, we can see clearly that each input here has exactly one output, so it defines a function. Same thing for the second one. Each input has exactly one output, so it's a function. But in the third one, we can notice clearly that the 3 here has 2 different outputs. Same thing for the 4, which has 2 different outputs, the 6 and the 7. Therefore, in this case, it's not a function. It's forbidden for an input to have more than one output. In number 4, the 9 has 2 different outputs, the 1 and the 2. So it's not a function too. In number 5, we have the 5, which is the output, the same output for 2 different inputs. But it's not forbidden in the function definition. You may have the same output for different inputs. What's forbidden is that an input has different outputs, okay? Therefore, in this case, it's a function. In the last one, number 6 here, we have the same output for all the inputs, and this is called a constant function. So it's a function because we have the same output for different inputs. We don't have the inverse. We don't have different outputs for the same input. So therefore, it's a function. And especially we called it a constant function. Now we can move to the second part of this activity in which we'll try to determine if each graph here represents a function. We're going to use the vertical line test to check if it's a function or not. The technique is simple. You have to draw a line over the domain of the function, and by moving this vertical line, check that you have only one intersection point with the graph. Okay? You can see clearly here that each time you move your vertical line, you have exactly one intersection point, okay? Which is around here for this position. So in this case, you conclude that it's a function. Same thing for number 8. If you draw a vertical line and try to move it over the domain of the function, you will always have exactly one intersection point with the graph. Therefore, it's a function. In the last one, if you draw your vertical line around this position here, you can see clearly that we have 1, 2, and 3 intersection points. So for this input here, which corresponds to the intersection of the vertical line with the x-axis, you have 3 different outputs. And you already know that if you have many outputs for the same input, it's not a function. So if the vertical line test fails here, it means you have more than one intersection point with the graph. Therefore, it's not a function. Thank you for your attention and see you in the next videos.